cruise news time. And well, I've got some cruisers out there that are sad. I've got some cruisers out there that are very angry. I got some cruisers out there that done been ate up by bed bugs. It's a wild pile of cruise news today. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on Friday, November the 24th, 2023. And well, I'm wearing a shirt celebrating the day. It's a new look for me. Black Friday. Are you out there doing some Black Friday shopping? One of my fondest memories of two fond memories. I saw two people get in a fight over a TV at a Walmart at 12:01 on a Black Friday, like full-on fisticuffs over a television. That was pretty exciting. And then I have this other memory of waiting for Circuit City to open. Me, my brother, some of my kids sitting in a cold car early in the morning on a Friday so that we could get a $5 copy of Season 1 of Mad Men. And just to put it in context, it wasn't even a Blu-ray, just a regular DVD. Mad Men, what a show. That Don Draper, he was wily, right? But Black Friday, are you out there doing any shopping? Are you getting any deals? I'd love to hear that in the comments, but let's talk about some cruise news. Like I said, I've got some sad cruise passengers today. These are the passengers that were booked on the Life at Sea 3-year world cruise. We talked about this story a couple times. The latest update came just a few days ago when the cruise ship that they were eyeballing to use for this adventure got sold off to another cruise company. Major investor dropped out, and you may be thinking to yourself, well, maybe they should just give up. Maybe they should just quit and cancel the whole thing. And well, it's great advice, or at least to the people that are in charge, because they've given up. They're canceling the whole thing. They're notifying passengers who have paid a lot of money, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They paid this money before there was even a cruise ship. That's questionable. But they're getting notified today that the Life at Sea 3-year cruise that was set to begin earlier this month has just been completely canceled. They're getting notified also with the promise that they will get their money back. Hopefully. And that's a weird ending and a sad ending to that story. You know there's got to be some sad and angry passengers there today, but they wouldn't be alone. Because if we move over across the globe down there to Australia and New Zealand, there's a whole nother set of cruisers that are probably angry and upset today. Let's take you on board the Pacific Adventure. This is a cruise ship that holds a little over 2,000 passengers. That ship left from Sydney, Australia a few days ago with an itinerary to take a bunch of Aussies over to New Zealand for a 2-week Kiwi vacation. A lot of people were excited about that. But if you know anything about New Zealand, they're very particular about their environmental standards there, and they're very particular about what organisms that cruise ships are bringing over on the hull of their ship. And so there's a whole inspection process in place that will either allow or disallow cruise ships into New Zealand water. Well, Pacific Adventure had a hull cleaning scheduled during the beginning of this cruise where divers would go down and scrub the hull. And well, they had to cancel that because of bad weather. And so they rang up New Zealand and said, hey, we couldn't get the hull cleaned. And New Zealand said, hey, no problem. You just can't come to New Zealand. How about that? I'm sure the folks at P&O weren't that surprised because we saw this whole thing play out last year where several cruise ships were denied entry into New Zealand. And so they rescheduled the whole hull cleaning so that they could at least salvage some part of their New Zealand itinerary. That probably would have been a cool thing to do, but they didn't do that. They just scrapped the whole thing, sending out a letter to passengers on board saying, hey, I know you're on board expecting to go to New Zealand, but we didn't get the hull cleaned, so we're not going to New Zealand. We're going to go to Tasmania instead. Now, fortunately, they are providing compensation to the passengers on board for this itinerary change, but it doesn't mean that everybody is happy. There's some angry passengers on board. My favorite quote coming off that cruise ship, a gentleman reportedly has said that this is like a turd covered in golden glitter. He's not too happy. He wants to be returned home to Sydney. We know, we've talked about it before, that when you sign up for a cruise, you're are not guaranteed to go on the itinerary that the cruise ship has sold you. It's in the contract. It's saying because of a variety of circumstances, your itinerary may be changed, and this is certainly the case. What do you think? Do you think the anger is justified? Do you think the guy is justified with his eloquent turd statement? Should you be mad if something as simple as a hull cleaning has derailed your whole dream vacation? How would you want to be compensated? Interesting story. Leave a comment below. Now we got to talk about a biting topic. We got to talk about bed bugs. But before I do that, let me sneak a little positive, interesting cruise news story for you. Are you familiar with Durban, South Africa? It's a challenge for us Americans. We don't travel extensively. I've been very fortunate this year to travel to more countries than I could even imagine. But South Africa is on that list of places I would like to go. And fortunately, South Africa is another country that is part of the cruise industry. And well, maybe my sweetheart cruise line MSC Cruises has just opened a brand new cruise terminal in Durban, South Africa. This was a $16 million project, and the outcome of it was a 6,000 square meter brand new terminal that can handle 4,000 cruise passengers a day. And it will be the new destination for MSC Cruises in South Africa. Come on, y'all. Name another cruise line that's spreading their net as wide as MSC. Of course, they're not publicly traded. Fortunately for them, they're backed by private money, the MSC shipping company, world's largest shipping company, Mediterranean Shipping Company. But they're going for it. They're going for it with another spot, another investment. It's like the universe. The cruise industry just keeps expanding and expanding. Like I said in the show the other day, maybe 34 million cruisers next year. It's a good time to be a cruiser, and it's a good time to tell your friends to start watching cruising content on YouTube, particularly Lido, Loca. You know me. But yeah, that's good stuff. I would love to get to South Africa and to try some MSC over there. Now, let's talk about the cruise ship that's had multiple cases of reported bed bugs, the response of the cruise line to those reported cases, and I've got a little 4-step process to help you suss out whether or not there are bed bugs in your hotel room or your cruise cabin. But first, the story. There's been a third reported case on the Pacific Explorer of bed bugs. And for the third time, the cruise line P&O Australia has said, we don't see no bed bugs. It's a weird dance that's going on. You've got cruisers saying we're getting bitten by bed bugs, and you got the cruise line going, well, we don't see it. We don't see it. So who knows where the truth lies there, but I thought it would be a good jumping off point. I don't really ever check for bed bugs. That's probably bad on my part. My wife, Jenny, she used to work in property management. I think she checks for bed bugs. But let me give you 4 or 5 ways to look for bed bugs. The number one recommended thing to do when you first enter into a hotel room or your cruise cabin and you have your luggage is to put that luggage in a place that's not immediately going to get infected with bed bugs. If they're in the cabin, experts recommend that you set them on a luggage rack or you set your luggage on the bathroom floor. Typically, bed bugs are not hiding on the tile, that kind of thing. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, you want to start investigating the environment. And one place that bed bugs typically live in the bed, right? That's why they get the name, but particularly at the head of the bed, the top of the bed near the wall. Best practice is to lift up the bedding, lift up the mattress, and look for evidence of bed bugs. The evidence comes in the form of big bed bugs. You can see some bed bugs, you can see their eggs, but a lot of times you'll see remnants of bed bugs where they've shed their skin. It leaves a rusty brown color in that area. So you want to inspect to see if there's eggs, bugs, rusty color stuff on the mattress, on the sheets. That might be an indication of bed bugs. Number 3, you want to check any upholstered furniture in your room, in your cabin. Same thing, you want to look for evidence, eggs, bugs, the rust color thing. And then you want to pay particular care to your suitcase while you're staying in that room. Like for me, I always just empty out my suitcase and jam it under the bed of my cruise cabin. The experts there are suggesting that you bring a trash bag with you or some sort of plastic bag and, encompass your suitcase with that, and that way you can at least have another layer of protection. Apparently bed bugs are like nature's hitchhikers. They're happy to go on a trip. They're always looking for something new to travel in, and your suitcase is one of their favorite things. And then one additional thing that you can do when you get home from traveling, if you are concerned that you may have had exposure to bed bugs, a good rule of thumb is taking all of your clothes, everything out of your suitcase, and putting it in the dryer for 30 minutes. This is one way to kill off the bed bugs. I don't know what you do about the suitcase yourself in this situation. I don't think most suitcases are going to fit in the dryer. If you're suspecting that you've had some sort of interaction with bed bugs, then not only do you have to take steps while you're in that environment, but you also have to take steps when you get home. Fortunately, I've never had to deal with it, but you know, this story demonstrates that some folks in that cruise life are having to deal with it. Have you ever had to deal with it? Do you have any good tips for bed bug avoidance, bed bug detection? Yeah, don't let the bed bugs bite. That's what my parents always told me. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Now, without trying to be too controversial, I just want to say that poutine is overrated. I'm very sorry, Canada. If you want a more detailed explanation of that, I would encourage you to watch my Canada and New England food review. I posted that on the channel yesterday, but I will link it at the end as the what to watch next. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. If you enjoyed the show up until the moment where I just sang that cruising bit, go ahead and hit the like button. This is Tony for Lido, Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news, cruise news, cruise news, it's over.